What's up, guys? So today I've got a big one. I'm going to kind of walk you through, just kind of give you some information. I'm not going to tear my car down for it, not going to, but I'm going to give you some just information, general information about if you want to bag your 97 to 01 Prelude, your BB6 to BB9, that chassis, or I think BB5 was a 5th gen too. I could be wrong. Somebody's going to correct me. It's kind of simple. There's a lot though. There's some complicated stuff that makes this chassis kind of annoying to work with, and no one told me when I was doing mine. So, as you can see, 5th gen, 9701. There's no difference in the actual chassis between 97 to 01, unless you're like right-hand drive, left-hand drive, the whole nine. So, just if you want to bag it, it's the same as bagging any other car that isn't a McPherson style. So, it has, you know, a wishbone on top and a wishbone on the bottom, coil over in the center. So there's no camber adjustment or anything on the bag, you know, not like Civics or anything like that. So that is kind of annoying. So you're not going to get any camber adjustment with your bags at all, other than natural camber. You know, if you mess with the eccentric bolts or anything like that, then you'll get some natural camber, but you're kind of, you know, limited. So unless you get, you know, Godspeed rear uppers or Godspeed front uppers, which will be coming out here at some point soon, or you get SPC ball joints that are adjustable, then you can get a little bit of camber. Like I have a Godspeed rear uppers, but I have them for a reason, because I just wanted the clearance and because I want the fitment. But for the fronts is where it gets complicated. So the rear on these cars, it's the same. There's nothing special. Now you put the bag in, done, you're done. That's it. You know, run the airlines. I ran mine. Can't really see, but I ran mine down and runs underneath there, and then I put 2 bulkhead fittings. Let's see if I can get the camera down here. Weird. You can kind of see them, maybe. Oh, there's one right there. See it? Bulkhead fitting. So that runs into the trunk. I have one on both sides, and it runs into the bottom of the trunk, and then just runs up to my manifold, which is in the back right here, which is in the back seat right there. The fronts, kind of the same. Just bag in, done. Just like a coilover. I ran my airline down, and if you see where the hard line for the brakes run through from the engine bay into the wheel well, that's where I ran my lines through. I just ran them along with the brake lines, and then ran them over, ran them through the firewall, and then just ran them down through here, through the center, along the back, up the manifold. That's not the hard part. That's not the complicated part. That's the easy parts. So, you know, you have a lot of things regarding what size tank should you use, what size compressor should you use, and obviously, if you're really on the fence about this, the guys over at Bag Riders can help you. They helped me a lot, helped me with a lot in figuring a lot of things out. So, trunk setup, there's the compressor, and there's some lines out there, you can kind of see them, but that's my compressor. That's a single. It does the job. It's just fine. I think this is a 440. I think it's a 440. There's a kit that will come with it. It's just the normal compressor, and then just the normal 5-gallon Bag Riders tank. You know, just polished, nothing special, normal tank. And then that's an Airlift 3P, and my controller is right here, right there. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I made my video on that, but it's real simple. If you want to put it in the visor, I'll get to that towards the end of this video so I don't, you know, crowd everything up and ramble on. So it's pretty straightforward, same as bagging any other vehicle. Run your airlines. So you can use, this is the complicated part. So pay attention, because if not, you're going to screw yourself in the long run. So we're not fully sure yet. You can use airlift suspension bags on the rear. There's no problems. On the fronts, there is a clearance issue with the upper control arm. So potentially, when these Godspeed arms comes out, we did some R&D, we did some measuring, and potentially you may not need to trim anymore on the upper control arm with the Godspeed arms. I really don't have a way to check that. I'm obviously, when the control arms release, I'm going to order a set and get them here. But I have no way to check if the airlift bags for the front will fit. If you run airlift bags in the front with stock upper control arms though, completely stock, they're going to rub. They're going to rub and they will blow a hole in your bag. There's no way around it. You have to trim. I think the airlift constructions that come with it actually say to trim, because you do need to trim the upper control arm. So there's different options. So that's the airlift one out of the way. That's the trim one, the annoying one. It's out of the way. It's the cheaper route. You can get the entire airlift kit. You don't have to combine kits, because combining kits with things get annoying, which I'll get into as well. It's pretty straightforward. So if you're like me and you don't want to trim the upper control arm, there's a company. They're amazing. They're called AirTech. They're kind of a small company. They're fantastic people, fantastic guys. Love working with them. They're great. They make a full air strut kit for a BB6. For the 9701, it's a full air strut. So it goes in just like a coilover. It's just like the bags that you would buy from Airlift Performance, you know, where it's the full coil part, the bag, the whole nine. It's just a full air strut, which the Airlift ones are also air struts. But the AirTech ones, the back of it is a normal bellow. It's a normal bag bellow, nothing different. But the fronts they put slim bellows on, because you need to run slim bellow, double bellow in the front so you don't have any rubbing issues. Because like I said, it'll blow a hole in your bag, and then you're going to all of a sudden air out randomly, and you're going to be really pissed and be stuck on the side of the road. You need slim bellows in the front if you run stock upper control arms, which the same company, AirTech, if you don't want to do their air struts. Their air struts were like $1,400 when I bought them. If that's a little bit too steep for you because you're just getting into bagging, or you want to stay on the cheaper side, totally fine. They also sell a BOC kit, which is a bag over coil kit, which essentially replaces the spring on a coilover to a bag. It's just a normal bag that slips on, threads on, and then it replaces the spring, and then you hook the airlines up, and then you have bags, but you're on coilover. So some people like that more. Their bag over coil setup, they're all slim bags. All 4 of them are slim bags, so you can run them without any issues at all, which in hindsight is not a bad idea, but I went with the full air struts because I just did. I don't know, it just seemed like a good idea at the time. They don't rub in the front. D2 as well. They are, I believe, slims all the way around, but their full air strut kit, I believe, are slim bellows all the way around. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm positive. I'm almost positive. So, like I said, Airlift Performance bags in the front. You cannot run Airlift Performance normal bags on the front end of the 9701. They will rub a hole on the upper control arm, and they will blow the bag out. The way around it is to trim the upper control arm. If that's the route you want to go that route. If you want to trim the upper control arm, you don't have any problems with it, then go for it. I'm just telling you ahead of time. I didn't know any of this coming into this. Rears, there's no problems. There's no issues, nothing. Other than running lines and the whole nine. So, it's very straightforward. It's not complicated. It's not by any means complicated. It's the only thing that is regarding the bags that is important, I think. So, my car does it. I know some other people's cars that do it. I don't know why. No one seems to know why. I think it has to do with the sway bars, but I'm not positive. So, when you bag this car, I might try to put a video of it, like here. You air it back up. It'll get to a point where it'll stop airing up. If you increase the pressure up, it'll start to lift again, then it'll pop.
And it must pop, pop, pop!
You're like, pop, pop. Then it'll air all the way up, and then you can air back out, and it'll be like normal. Like this rod height here is 80 PS. Well, this is like 75-ish PSI on the front. Now, they've popped like they're supposed to. If they're not popped, it's going to set like down here. I think it's my sway bar getting caught, but I'm not positive. It will do that. It'll freak you out. I'm still working on trying to figure out why it's doing that. I've asked a lot of people, and nobody seems to know. I know one guy who is running this relatively similar setup, and his doesn't pop at all. Not even a little bit. Does not pop at all. So I think it's sway bar, but I'm not positive. It's going to pop. It's going to be really annoying. Which is going to throw your pressures off. So when you air up, check that. Pay attention, because if you air up to your height and you didn't hear the popping, if your car pops. If your car doesn't pop, fantastic. Good for you. You're 1 in like 7. if, if yours does pop and you air up and it hasn't popped, your ride height is going to be lower than normal, what your pressure sets, which gets really annoying and can be kind of sketchy if you're not used to it. That's a lot of times you can run height sensors. So height sensors is what does a lot of it, which is a 3H setup, which I had on this car. I'm having issues with them right now, but it is not related to the chassis. I think it might be something with the sensors. I'm having some issues. I'm gonna figure that out, and maybe I'll make a follow-up video regarding that, because the height sensors are kind of a pain in the butt. They're fantastic. The height sensors are fantastic if you're running them with airlift performance parts. So if you're running airlift bags, airlift controller, and the airlift 3H height sensors, they're great. They're fantastic. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. When you start combining kits like I did, or like you potentially will, that's when you're going to have your problems. And that's pretty much what has happened, and I think that's what is causing problems, and I'll figure that out. Maybe I'll make a video following up on it. Not, I'll dig into that later. I also think maybe I have a mouse. The mouse might be the problem. Yeah, I don't know, but... And there's not much more to it. It's very straightforward. It's expensive. Bagging is expensive. And if you want to tuck wheels in the back, which these are 17 by 9s plus 12, because they were plus 22, and I have a 10 mil spacer, you will have to trim, as you can see, bumper support is moved from up here down here. Right there, see it? Right there. You have to trim a bunch of metal in here. There's like no metal like here normally. It's all cut out and gone because I want the tuck. It now comes down to fitment metal work. You will have to roll your fenders, pull, depending on your fitment. You may not, I don't know. Some people bag and tuck. I like fender on lip. That's just what I did. So, bagging these cars isn't hard. It just can be a hassle because of the complicated parts with the suspension. So if you're gonna bag, just do your research, please. Because I've seen some people that will buy the full airlift kit and then they'll be fine. I knew a guy who was a full airlift kit, and then one day he had no bags in the front anymore because they both blew. He had bags in the back, none in the front. So he was running coilovers in the front, bags in the back, because he couldn't get a hold of replacement bags in time. So just pay attention, be aware, and you'll be okay. They're not hard to bag. They're just kind of tight, and there's plenty of room. Running the airlines is kind of annoying. I tried to run them through the top of the strut tower, and I pinched an airline and aired out randomly. That was good thing I was home, but that was sketchy. Pay attention where you run your lines. Be very careful. Keep them away from heat. Keep them away from any spinning objects. And keep them protected. Put some Adelume over them. You'll be fine. The height sensors, I'll do just a quick little on that because I didn't know anything about it. So let me get down here. So the height sensors, camera's gonna be sideways, I'm sorry. So you can see the height sensor right there. It goes up and it comes down and hooks to the rear tow arm right there. See it? That's how it's in the back. It's like that on both sides. So the height sensor's mounted at the wheel well with some rivets that I put. A little piece of aluminum. Just some aluminum. Made little brackets. Height sensor's on the bracket. The arm comes down to the tow arm and just hooks using, if you're an electrician, it is a, ooh, no. Oh, it's not a Madison strap. What the heck is it called? I cannot remember the name of it. Oh my gosh. It's this. It's the, that's not what it's called. But it's these. It's these, and just half-inch ones work. If you're not an electrician, these hold EMT conduit. These help you run conduit. You would put an anchor in, which this right here, this hole, is where I have the arm for the height sensor screwed into, and then this is literally just on the arm. So I can adjust this slightly as needed, or I can lengthen and shorten the arm, and we're good. You need these. Oh my gosh. These aren't... Dude, I cannot remember the name of these. They're just... If you're gonna look it up, just look up like EMT rigid strap. It'll come up half-inch for half-inch EMT. That works fantastic. That was an ingenious idea that I had laying around, and that I would like to pass it on to other people. For the front, I made a bracket and just kind of stuck it somewhere. I don't completely remember where I stuck it. I think they're on... I think it's like the radius arm, the two bolts. I think I made a bracket there. You'll have to look. I don't completely remember, but I don't like the way I did mine anyway, so I'm not going to tell you how I did mine because I don't recommend doing it that way. But the back, do that. Do what I just showed you. It's a lifesaver. Now if you have height sensors on this car, it'll help keep your presets set. And the only issues with not running height sensors is the presets because of the pressure problems. It's annoying, but it is what it is. And that's pretty much all I got. I just wanted to give some input and some detail on that because a lot of people want to do it and it gets kind of complicated and it's just one of those things. I'll make another video on the visor piece because this video is getting kind of long. I'll make another one on that and just kind of, it'll be a short one. Just walk you through it. It's pretty straightforward. If you look at it, you can figure it out. And if not, I'll post a video probably this week as well, later this week, of just kind of a walkthrough on how to do it. It's very straightforward. Nothing crazy. Yeah. If you have any questions regarding bagging one of these, put it in the comments. Just post down there. I'm trying to get better at answering comments. I'm really bad at it because my notifications are being weird. I'm sorry. But I will try to answer them as I can. If you want to get a hold of me quickly, DM me on Instagram, and I'll see it just like that. Yeah. So just, if you have any questions, just let me know, please. I'm just trying to help people. I'm trying to help other Prelude owners answer questions that they've had or that I had and nobody answered mine. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Just hit me up if you have any questions. Seriously. Oh my gosh, what is that? Sir. Okay, we're gonna leave that in. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, please, and enjoy the weather.